Well, they say that there should never be sequels to good movies. And, well, we have this one. Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up? My name is Nelson, and today I'm going to be talking about Don't Breathe 2. The story is about the blind man from the first movie. It's about him who he gets a little girl he gets a baby from a burning building and raises her. You know, in the first one, he always wanted to have a kid because he lost his daughter and all that. So that's what this movie's about. And he basically these guys come and try to take her. And that's basically what the movie's about without spoiling anything. Now let's get into it. First off, the acting in this movie is incredible. I mean, the blind man played by Stephen Lang, or Stephen Lang, however you say it. He's great in this movie. And, you know, going into this movie, I really had my thoughts on how could this blind man be the protagonist of this movie? And I was just like, what he did in the first one was just so evil, and I was just like, that ain't gonna work, you know? And, but they really made it to where he is more of an anti-hero. He's still evil, but there is some good that he is doing. It's just, what he is doing is just, how he goes about this is just evil. But there basically isn't any good characters in this entire movie. I mean, that was rough. I mean, it was just rough. I mean, you got this little girl, and they're just, nobody in her life is not evil, you know? The blood and the gore in this movie, I gotta give it to him. It was great. I was a little bit worried in the beginning. I was kind of like, oh, maybe the budget's not allowing them when he went to crush somebody's skull and you didn't see it. I was kind of like, oh man, but then towards the end of the movie, that's when you start seeing the gore candy throughout the movie, and I love that. But obviously, I love horror. But this story, it should have never happened. This was just not something that should have been. And I love the first one. I feel like that should have just been the standalone, and this was just kind of like more of a let's make some money type of thing, in my opinion. And that's just not, I don't like that. But it's just, there's choices that the characters make that I don't agree with, and I just like, no, you know, and it was just like not, I don't like some of the choices that the director made, the characters make, and I just was like, ugh, like there was just some weird things they were doing, the dialogue is real rough throughout this movie, the different things that he says, and when the blind man does speak, he makes his voice very groggly. He's great in this movie, and his voice, it's so weird, and I've seen him in other movies. There was another movie that came out last year, I can't remember what it was, I'll put it up on the screen, but he was great in that movie, so I know he's a good actor, and I know he's got a great voice in real life, and it's just, I don't know, his voice was just so weird for me. But yeah, some of the weird things that happen throughout the movie, like a little tiny spoiler, not much if you want to skip ahead a few seconds, but there's a part where one of the bad guys gets their lips and their nose glued shut. And the other guy, who's his brother, was like, I'm gonna open your mouth. And you think he's gonna take the screwdriver, he picks up a screwdriver and cut it so he could breathe. And I was kind of like, of course that's what you would do. This guy cuts his cheek through here and so he can breathe. And I'm just like, and then he's like, oh, and then he takes a little piece of glass and cuts it. I'm like, well, that's what should have happened in the beginning. He's bleeding out of his mouth and stuff. And then they ask him, oh, did that blind, and then the main guy asked him, did that blind guy do that? And they were like, yeah. And I'm like, no, he didn't. He glued your mouth shut. And your brother put a hole in your freaking cheek. And I was just like, whoa, you know, not just some of the choices. I'm just like, no, that should have never happened. But in the little girl, she, it's hard to find child actors. I think she did okay. There were some things here and there I was just like, oof, just here and there, not much. But for the most part, she was pretty good. But there's just different things throughout the movie where I was just like, how did you not hear that gunshot? Or it's just a lot of things in the movie. It just wasn't realistic. I know it's a movie, but this is a more realistic movie, and I need more realism through the movie for me. And it just wasn't. It just a lot of things that happened, like just a lot of things. And I did forget to say when I was talking about what I like. I do like the score. It's a very chilling score. I did like it. And there's just some choices like that I feel a human just wouldn't make, and they are made throughout, and it's just character choice was just real rough. I've said that. I was saying that in the beginning. The character choice was real rough for me, but overall, this wasn't horrible. I enjoyed it. With my score, I'm gonna go right down the middle and go 50%. Wasn't horrible. Like I said, it wasn't horrible. There's some fun, but honestly, I would just wait. Rent it. I wouldn't go out and see this one, in my opinion. If you're gonna go out and see anything this weekend, Free Guy. But yeah, just not as good as the first one, in my opinion. But my name is Nelson. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, like and subscribe, and follow my boy Michael Taylor. I'll leave his link down in the description. He's doing some cool things with short horror, and he's reacting to some music. But follow me on Instagram at Nelson Reviews. Follow me on Letterboxd at Nelson48. Peace out.